Welcome to this explainer. Most of us just think of a sunburn as a simple, temporary annoyance. You spend a little too long at the beach, your skin gets kind of pink, you slap on some aloe, and you just move on, right? Well, the biological reality is actually way more intense. What we're about to explore today is this highly coordinated, life-saving emergency response that your body executes with literally unbelievable precision. Let's get into it. So, let's dive right in by asking the big question. What is truly going on in your body when your skin turns red after a day outside? We really need to break down this illusion that a sunburn is just your skin getting slightly cooked by the heat. To actually grasp what a sunburn is, we have to look past the surface level. We need to understand the sophisticated and honestly sometimes drastic measures your body is taking to protect you from widespread cellular injury. Just imagine it. You're standing out there in the warm sun. You don't feel any pain. You're totally unaware that invisible rays are already crushing into millions of your skin cells. You're just enjoying a beautiful summer day. The sun feels amazing. Your skin looks totally normal, zero discomfort. But that peaceful feeling, it's hiding an invisible, violent cellular collision happening right in that very moment. The damage is literally occurring way before you ever feel the urge to go grab some shade. Now, sunlight isn't just the bright, warm light we see. It actually contains invisible ultraviolet radiation. UVC is the most dangerous kind, but thankfully our atmosphere just absorbs it. We don't really have to worry about it. UVA, that penetrates deep into your skin and is mostly responsible for premature aging. But UVB, that is the primary culprit we're focusing on today. These are the specific rays crashing into your cells, interacting with them constantly, and causing immediate, right then and there, DNA damage. The exact second those UVB rays hit, they attack the DNA inside your skin cells. Think of DNA as your cell's instruction manual, okay? It tells the cell exactly how to grow, divide, function, the whole shebang. Well, UVB radiation creates these abnormal bonds between neighboring building blocks in your DNA. It is exactly like spilling thick black ink all across the pages of that manual. The cell tries to read it, but the instructions are completely corrupted, just unreadable. So within seconds, your body spots this corrupted DNA. Special proteins act like an emergency repair crew, rushing in to fix the damage. Usually they succeed. But if the damage is just too severe, it triggers something called apoptosis. This is an intentional self-sacrifice of the cell to keep you safe from cancer. It sounds super dramatic, right? Programmed cell death? But actually, it's one of your body's smartest defense mechanisms. Instead of risking that heavily damaged cell surviving and, mutating into something dangerous, the body just orders it to shut down. Before those damaged cells shut down for good, they release chemical distress signals. Your immune system detects these messages pretty much immediately, and in response, the blood vessels in that area widen up to let emergency reinforcements flow in. So that bright red skin you see in the mirror later, it's not a direct burn from the sun's heat. No way. It's actually a visible sign of your body's massive internal response to an injury. And that rush of reinforcements is exactly why your sunburned skin actually feels hot to the touch. You aren't feeling the lingering heat of the sun. What you're actually feeling is warm blood flowing from deeper inside your core, brought closer to the surface through those widened vessels. Your body is urgently delivering emergency oxygen, nutrients, and vital immune cells straight to the front line. That heat? It's undeniable physical proof that your body has gone into full-blown repair mode. This whole sunburn journey plays out across a really fascinating timeline. And this explains why you don't feel pain immediately on the beach, but rather hours later as inflammation kicks in. So in the first few seconds, your DNA is quietly scrambled. It then takes hours for the complex machinery of inflammation to fully deploy, days to deal with the physical cleanup process, and if we look at the year scale, we see the hidden, long-term toll these invisible collisions can take if they happen over and over again. Let's look a bit closer at why that pain is delayed. As those immune cells arrive over several hours, they start releasing specific chemicals, stuff like prostaglandins and cytokines. Basically, these chemicals turn up the volume on your nearby nerve endings. Normally, a gentle touch wouldn't hurt at all. But under the influence of these chemicals, your nerve endings get so incredibly sensitized that even the light brush of a cotton t-shirt feels absolutely agonizing. It's basically your nervous system's way of forcing you to protect that damaged area while it works. Now, if the cellular casualties are high enough, and the injury goes deeper into the skin, fluid rushes in to form blisters. Blisters can be incredibly uncomfortable, sure, but they serve a brilliant biological purpose. That fluid acts as a vital, protective cushion for the damaged tissue underneath. It creates this secluded, totally safe environment that supports rapid healing while keeping out further infection. This is exactly why doctors tell you to leave them alone and let nature run its course. Okay, so several days later, you might start to peel. Let's bust a huge myth right here. This isn't just simple skin regeneration happening before your eyes. It is a massive cleanup operation removing millions of intentionally sacrificed dead cells. Remember apoptosis from earlier? Those heroic cells that purposefully shut themselves down to protect you from cancer are now being pushed to the surface. Fresh skin has already formed underneath, and peeling is really just the final stage of taking out the cellular trash. All right, let's tackle another huge misconception that ties right into this whole thing. The idea of a base tan or a healthy glow. I hate to break it to you, but tanning is not a sign of optimal skin health at all. It's a blaring alarm that your DNA has been attacked and your body is desperately trying to defend itself. When your skin darkens, it's a retroactive biological panic button. It's absolute scientific proof that invisible UV radiation has already bypassed your outer defenses and triggered widespread internal damage. That tan is actually created by melanin, which is a pigment produced by special cells called melanocytes. You can think of melanin kind of like your body's built-in sunscreen. It absorbs some of that incoming ultraviolet radiation before it can reach the more vulnerable, deeper cells. But here is the crucial catch. It only offers partial protection, and it only heavily deploys after the damage is already underway. Relying on a tan for protection? It's literally like relying on a bucket to bail out a boat that already has a giant hole in the bottom. We look back at the year's scale from our timeline, we start to see the real dangers of this repeated biological battle. Every time you get sunburned, most cells repair themselves, and some die. But occasionally, tiny, unrepaired DNA mistakes get left behind. Over decades, those mistakes can accumulate into uncontrolled cell growth, which is exactly how skin cancers develop. On top of that, repeated sun exposure literally destroys the proteins that keep your skin firm, like collagen and elastin. This breakdown leads to thinner skin and premature wrinkles, or photoaging. Honestly, a huge portion of what we think of as regular skin aging is actually just accumulated sun damage. Fortunately, it's not all bad news. Your body is just this incredible, masterfully designed biological machine. Every single day, it's constantly producing new collagen, fixing tiny DNA errors, and replacing dead cells. Well, as long as you don't completely overwhelm it. The cellular repair systems you possess are astonishingly effective. But because those systems aren't absolutely perfect, every little bit of help we can give them, like finding some shade during midday, wearing protective clothing, or throwing on some sunscreen, drastically reduces the massive workload placed on your immune system. So the big takeaway from this explainer is that a sunburn is not just getting too much sun. It is an escalating, highly complex emergency response to a massive cellular injury. And the amazing thing is, unlike so many microscopic threats inside our bodies, this is one you can entirely prevent. Knowing that a sunburn is a violent, microscopic battle for your survival, leaving a trail of sacrificed cells in its wake, it really leaves you with a question. Are you ready to protect your cells tomorrow and stop the invisible collision before it even starts?